So Andreessen Horowitz, so Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz put out a podcast where they explained why they're now backing Trump.
Yeah, I voted for Hillary in 2016.
Yeah. And, you know, everyone knows that Mark Andreessen's been pretty red-pilled for a while, but Ben Horowitz has been pretty... He's not a guy that, like, puts his head above the parapets and posts about EAC and shit like that. He seems like the more sensible of the pair. But they've done this whole podcast where they've talked about why they're now backing Trump and putting money behind him and voting for him. Crypto is a big reason, and I think this does reflect, obviously, within crypto people, feeling that Trump is pro-crypto, Biden is anti-crypto. That plays a big part. And also this AI palaver, right? This whole thing that, you know, the Biden administration has clamped down and made us uncompetitive with China with their bloody executive orders and shit. Whereas Trump, who, despite, I think, at some point saying that he's scared of AI, will be way better for us.
To me, that still feels kind of like pretty ethereal as like, that's a reason for me to, I mean, this isn't a politics podcast, but that's the reason for me to like ignore all of my priors and ignore all of the other stuff because like Trump's slightly better for AI. But I think that like what it comes down to, and I know that we've had this chat, like fundamentally it's taxing unrealized gains.
Yeah, totally. So like, the other thing is like this Biden proposal to tax unrealized capital gains. They bring this up in the podcast as well. Again, we're very much talking about people that are at the top of the pile of tech. And I guess, you know, a lot of people who are down the line swing back. Plus, I think this gives a lot of cover for people who have always been pretty conservative in tech and like been pretty right wing.
Well, insofar as like hating being taxed at all.
Yeah, like hating the tax stuff, and obviously the culture war thing, which I think has been part of it. But tech's been very liberal since at least Obama, if not a lot earlier. So,
well, yeah, this is one thing that I thought was, and again, it kind of speaks to, I know we've said like it's a vibe thing or whatever, but of that Andreessen Horowitz podcast, he like specifically says like, you know, I was a Democrat because on the way up, you basically, everyone kind of loved you. Like the media was very pro you. You knew the government was on your side. And the deal kind of was like the Bill Gates model. And he specifically references this. We make lots of money and then we do like philanthropy with all this money and we kind of vote Democrat and, you know, it's all very nice because like we're nice people and that's what you do. But, and he like specifically uses the term, there's been a breakdown of the deal. And like, to me, that's kind of like admitting, is like, because, you know, people got mad at Mark Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chan for starting up the like Zuckerberg Chan Foundation and like people were really cynical about it and mad at him. And, you know, the media was very mad at us and like the politicians are all mad at us. And like, it's a breakdown of the deal with the Democrats. And it's like, yeah, you're literally just saying like, we want you guys to like us. Like you should be praising us.
Yeah. And it comes back to that whole thing that we've talked about in the podcast before, which is like a lot of, especially founders and whatever, got really mad that the media narrative turned against them during like, because of like the Trump election, the first Trump election. So there's a direct connection there. But also just like the general idea of like, we used to be cool. You guys used to love us for being, you know, progressive and forward thinking and putting America on a new path, and now you say that we're sickos and then we're ruining, corrupting children's minds and making the world worse with technology. So there's like that resentment there, which like I think they're pretty. It's not even. I'm not talking out of school. I'm not like doing deep psychological reading. Like they will tell you that they are pissed off and mad about the shift.
But so that's what he means. Like breakdown of the deal. It's like he basically is just out and out saying it, being like, I'm mad that you guys aren't praising us enough. Well, I mean, I know it's slightly more nuanced than that, but barely. But then, of course, you know, so after they do that and come out, you know, and that's why we're voting for Trump. Of course, Trump does the funniest thing ever and immediately says that if Taiwan wants the US to protect them from China, then they got to pay us, i.e. we're not going to come and defend Taiwan, the place that manufactures all of the semiconductors, as we've talked about ad nauseum, and sent tech stocks just plummeting.
That was very funny. And it's, I mean, I don't know where the misread is here, because obviously these guys are falling in behind Trump. Yeah, and I think they're very, and you know, JD Vance as being the VP candidate, you know, he was only a VC for a few years, but he obviously was worked at Mithril Capital, which is Peter Thiel's fund, so he's like very well connected with tech. So they were like, this is our guy. He's in there. Trump is hearing us. Even though, like, let's be honest, Trump has never been Like, there's nothing about what Trump has done or the things that he's encouraged in the past or whatever to show that he's like pro-tech, apart from like his recent crypto signaling and shit like that. But it's like, but yeah, straight away be like, Taiwan can defend itself, which I don't know if it's just like Trump kind of misreading the vibe.
Well, and everyone has to pay their way, and NATO has to pay their way, and like...
Or misreading, because like, there's this whole thing, and JD Vance is all about like, break up Google. Let's let some startups thrive. There's like this whole big tech versus little tech dynamic that's playing out. So maybe he looked at that and was like, yeah, we're going to fuck with like... I mean, obviously he's like playing up to... I actually have no idea what the thinking is.
No idea. I think it's probably more in the like people have to pay their way. Like Ukraine should pay their way, and like also Taiwan.
Or maybe it shows he's just not really thinking about the tech guys as much as they thought he was.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, they would be like, yeah, but we actually still need those fucking Nvidia chips. Like, and we're gonna need them for like a long time. Anyway, we're prattling on about this, but that's the vibe. Hey, Raf.
Hey, James.
Did you know that you can get an extra episode of Down Round every single week on top of the one that you're already getting?
Yeah, I knew that.
Well, yeah, obviously you know, but the person is... I'm using you as a vessel to explain.
Sorry, as I'm the listener. No, go on, tell me more, James. How much does it cost?
A mere $7 a month, Raf.
Okay, where do I go to find out more about this?
You go to downround.net.
Okay, I want it.
Well, I'm sure you do.
I feel like I'm missing out by not having it.
Exactly. No ads. Second episode per week. And a few other little goodies that are coming down the pipeline as well. Head to downround.net.
Downround.net.
And sign up to Downround Premium.